Hello everyone. I know it's been a while, but I just want to do another random rumble like I do with line marker slash English shooter. This is gonna be about the recent season. I got two tier lists that I made. This is for the weapons tier list of the new season, and then the specials. I'll explain them pretty closely, but just if you're curious, here are my special tier lists, and here is my weapon tier list. I'm going to be explaining my placements and why I chose them here. And if you have any comments or questions that I did not answer, feel free to leave in the comments. And also leave your opinions down below. What you got? What's your opinion? What do you think? Oh, paintbrush should be in meta tier because of this, and that. Um, but yeah, also I'm hoping to do like these kind of mini rambles a bit more because I have a lot to say and I just like rambling sometimes. So I'm hoping to do this more often. I might still do some scripted stuff, but you're mostly going to be hearing a lot of ramblings because I'm focused on schoolwork at the moment. I am going on break soon, but let's get down to business now with whatchamacallit, the weapons. So, let's get started with meta picks. I put in Splatoon Stamper Nouveau. I know it's called Neo in the game, but this is Nouveau sticker. Translation issue. And the S-Blast. I think this is going to be more meta defining the S-Blast. All of this is ordered, by the way. So I think Splatoon Stamper is going to be used a bit more over S-Blast. I think because S-Blast in general, well, it has a god kit right now, and I'm loving it currently. It's like one of my new favorite weapons I picked up. Um, it's really hard to learn, especially mastering the two different modes of S-Blast is still a huge learning curve for it. And I think Stamper is just overall a way better main weapon, and it's got way more utility, especially since it's got Crab Tank. This is definitely also going to be seen a lot on Rainmaker because that's also where Toxic Mist is probably the best sub in, or like the best place to use Toxic Mist in is Rainmaker, and that plus Crab is just like DPS is insane for it. And like Rainmaker is a huge DPS oriented mode, and Stamper just clears it. I still think normal Stamper still be used just because the burst combo is so insane, and for some reason, if you want Zipcaster, um, but yeah, I think it's gonna be used definitely a lot, especially in Rainmaker. And let's move on to S Blast again with that huge learning curve thing. However, what I have for S Blast, I have a main a sub saver and also comeback on it to help with that ink efficiency. It does help. I'm able to do two burst bomb combos in a single, and when my ink tank is full, I am able to do two burst bomb combos with it. So that's really helpful. And yeah, it's again God Kid, Burst Bomb, Booyah Bomb. What better could you ask for? I think the main problem with S Blast is again the learning is really hard. Um, Especially if you need to be like very steady and you like need to like lock on. Um, but like the close range radius is really big. It's, again, clash radius. But again, that learning curve, and also I think there's just like a bit too much end lag, in my opinion. Or startup, they can either buff that, or maybe just the ink efficiency of this weapon in general could be buffed. I could see that. Um, those are some ways that I think it'd be like super good. I don't think it's meta defining as a lot of people think it is. Um, I know earlier on the YouTuber Pro Chara kind of overhyped this weapon, and I still think it's still a bit overhyped, but I still think it's a very good blaster and can definitely be used on team comps, especially since it has Booyah Bomb. And Booyah Bomb is not very common on a lot of weapons. The last weapon we got was Forge, which was almost a year ago, which is insane. Same thing with Burst Bomb. That's a rarely used sub as well. I think as well. Fresh Season was the last time we saw Burst Bomb, which is again insane because these are like amazing subs and specials, but those are just really greedy and don't want to put it on anything. But yeah, overall amazing. Okay. Next up is in the pretty good tier with Squeezer. I don't think it's gonna be meta defining, especially because it's gotta do with the new special of the screen. Screen is a bit controversial right now, considering the effects in general that bring it, with the grayscaling and like the color blindness factor, and like even with me, I'm not colorblind or anything, but like me just getting hit with the screen just hurts my eyes. I think the brightness is way too high, and like I'm not super sensitive or like colorblind, but the screen just reeks. I'm like, goddamn, I don't want to be in this. I think they need to change the color grayscale effect. They need to change it so that way it's not super like hurtful. Just give better accessibility with the special. But I think besides from that controversy, I think it's really good. Autobomb is good for it. I don't care. I know it had Splat Bomb before. A bomb is a bomb, okay? And it's really good for location tool because it's a cheap sub as well. It's the cheaper of the bombs, and Squeezer in general is a very incongruous weapon with its 2 fiery modes and stuff. So again, very good for that, and I guess scouting and location and stuff. Yeah, and it's still good for poking. Like, it's a bomb. So I think you'll be fine with auto bomb. And like, you got painting mode with Squeezers, so you got coverage with paint. Next is in the decent tier. 2 of these weapons are based on just like long-term uses. Actually, all of them could be long-term uses. They could be like up to like meta or pretty good in the future. I could see all these weapons being bumped up or bumped down depending on just how the meta goes. I was a bit controversial with maybe putting M parry here, but I decided just here for now because things could shift. I think like these weapons are like guaranteed to just be like really good in general, but I think these are a lot harder to predict in the future. And parries, I like honestly, I really like Curly Bomb with this. I know it doesn't have Inkjet, which sucks. However, if we do get third kit, there's still hope for Burst Bomb Inkjet. I am just saying. So, that's all I'm gonna say in terms of the Inkjet and Burst Bomb. But besides from that, Curling Bomb is still a really good end tool for dualies, because it can literally just get him with a Curling Bomb, follow it, and even if it gets tracked down, you can dodge roll out of that ink trail and then just splat them. So it's still really good. And Splashdown is, again, synchronizes very well with the Curling Bomb. Curling Bomb and they try to poke you, oh, you get them with the Splashdown. Or you could sneak up and do Splashdown as well. In terms of just viability, again, it depends on if Splashdown's good or not, and we'll see with my special tier list how that is. Right now, I'm just gonna spoil a little bit. I don't think it's as good. It's not like the best, but it's not the worst either. I think it's in a middle ground sort of situation. But yeah. Next up, Sunder / Kunder / finally, a good umbrella. A good undercover. It's literally got all the tools that Undercover wants. The main problem is that the main weapon is dog water, is doo-doo garbage, and the special is controversial. Literally has all the kits it needs. It's good support. Splatcolor screen is really fast when it comes to ink refill, and you can throw a torpedo, Splatcolor screen, and throw another torpedo. It's just that plus the main weapon. This is coming from someone who loves Kunder in Splatoon 2 and who just loves the Brella class in general. I'm a huge Brella fan, huge Undercover fan. But my god, this weapon needs buff. I'm glad it got its MPU effect back from the previous patch, but it really, really needs damage buffs. Playing this weapon in Rainmaker is literally impossible because the DPS is so low. I'm sorry. But if the main weapon gets its damage back, plus screen gets better, it could literally be in meta tier because this weapon gets so many screens. I'm telling you, it's so many screens. I think even more than Squeezer. if I have to be honest. It's so good. But again, like, if they give us damage back, I could see them bumping this to 190p, and that is fine, or even 200. If they give this, like, its damage back, like, please. I need I need Undercover to do damage. Its only way of killing you is if another teammate is there, or you hit him with a torpedo combo. Torpedo combo is amazing, but good luck. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm still gonna play this weapon. Like, my S-Blast and Undercover are the two weapons I've been playing the most, and they're my favorites. So I'm still gonna be playing this just because I like the weapon, but it could be so much better. It just needs buffs. Literally, that's all it needs. The Sorella brand is so good, but Brellas just need buffs as a main weapon, as a main class, everything. It just needs buffs. Anyways, Pencil or Snipe Raider. I like calling it Pencil. Splash Wall, really good. And Inkstorm. A Dream Special. I wish it got a bomb for poking. My dream in my other video, I said that this thing should have Fizzy Bomb and Inkstorm, and as you saw from my footage from before, Fizzy Bomb combos very well with not just the main weapon, but also the special. But Wall is still a really good option for it because it's a charger, and like we saw with Firefin, that it competes with that. The problem is, again, it competes with Firefin. If you don't want charge holds and you want the extra long range, then you could pick Snipe Raider, because Tri-Strike and Inkstorm are pretty similar in terms of the role that it wants to be. It's just, what do you prefer? Do you prefer having longer range or charge hold? Or if you just like the splatter scope, the Firefin scope, then just pick that. But it's still really good. Wall, again, is really good, and Storm is one of the best pairings for Pencil. And again, there's the other thing with, oh, is it going to be better than the Tacticler version? I think it could coexist, just the same thing with Stamper. This is definitely going to be more a zones niche as well, especially Flounder. But yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. This is going to replace the Undercover kit. The Dualies is going to coexist, I think. Squeezer, same thing, and S-Blast, this is just going to overrun the stupid Franklin Reef Spider kit. Anyways, we get on to very niche now. Blaster. The main problem with regular Blaster was the special. It now got a better special from Big Bubbler, but in return, it got a worse sub-weapon. I don't think point sensor is the key with this weapon. I know it got it from Splatoon 2, but I still don't think it's good. So it just comes down to personal preference. If you want the sub-weapon, pick the original blaster. If you want the special, pick this custom blaster. The main problem with it is that even though it's 180p, I believe, it doesn't get a lot of splashdowns, which is a bit bad. It is bad. It doesn't get as many splashdowns as I think it should be getting. You're going to definitely have to run some special charge ups or special savers with it. But yeah. Again, it's a situational thing. That's why I put it under very niche tier, because it's very situational if you want to pick this over the normal blaster. And then there's also S-Blast as well. So, yeah. Blaster's in a very weird spot. Next is REEF-FLUX. I'm so sorry, REEF-FLUX players. You wanted a better kit and you didn't want to get stuck with stupid missiles, but unfortunately you're getting the same treatment as GooTuber got. Which, unfortunate. GooTuber had so much potential with the Fizzy Bomb, but got stamped. This, dead on arrival. The only reason why it's not in garbage tier is because this thing is pure zones cheese. You paint upwards. Here's the game plan with REEF-FLUX Deco. You paint upwards. So you paint, and then you continue painting upwards using your wall as a shield or just painting. You get your reef slider, you pop it, you pop splash wall to distance yourself, and paint away and repeat the process. That's your game plan. So again, sorry REEF-FLUX users, your weapon seems cool, but you're gonna have to stick with missiles, unless if you want to zones G's. Because why would you pick Reef Slider over missiles? Finally, in garbage tier is paintbrush. I really don't want this to be garbage. I'm a huge paintbrush advocate. Curling Bomb on it was so good, but Wavebreaker is getting less and less relevant in the meta, so it's not super good with that. And what does it get? Point Sensor. It was speculated before this that it would get Line Marker, and I think Line Marker would have been better for this weapon than Point Sensor. The reason why is because you could combo with Line Marker, and at least you could probably get some movement capabilities with going up walls with this thing, because every time you want to do something with this weapon, there's that long startup. And that's the main problem. It's a good painting weapon, and it's got missiles. But that's its only thing. It's going to be a missile weapon. I think this is the same brand as Foil. It's basically Foil Flames, because I think this is the same brand as Flames Roller for its second kit. So this is your Foil Flames Roller, but for brushes. This is your Foil Flames. Now, question. Flames doesn't have a second kit yet. So is it going to be out of Missile Jail? Or is it going to stay in Missile Jail like REEF-FLUX and GoodTuber? We'll have to wait and see. But paintbrush can go honestly either or. I personally, if I play paintbrush, I want to stay the OG kit because I don't want to be a missile spammer. It's just insane, bro. I don't like the playstyle of it at all, and I wish it got a better sub. If it got a better sub, this could literally be better. Like, angle shooter, honestly better. Anyways, that's it for the weapons. Now let's get on to the specials. So I gotta categorize these. The top is must-have. You gotta have these on your team. You gotta have these on your team. These next section is good regardless. This section is for any team can run these specials and it will work out. The third one is can have, meaning that any of these specials can work on a team. However, it's not as good as these, basically. These next sign is situational. These specials are good with situational purposes. And then the final tier is you're playing this special for the main weapon. And I'm just going to say this now. You're not going to be playing Tetras or Splatana Wiper just so you can have Ultra Stamp or Reef Slider. You're not going to be playing that for the special weapon. You're playing for the main weapon. That's the same thing for any of these. Anyways, let's get on. Must have Cooler and Trizuka. I kind of debated on putting Trizuka onto good regardless tier. However, I think at the current moment it's up here. I could see it going down if it gets nerfed. I think the main problem with Zuka is the startup, and if they just nerf the startup, I think it will go down here. But for now, it hasn't been changed, and Shot is just a really good weapon, so it goes in here. Tacticooler, everyone runs Cooler. It's so good. It's staying here. You got, like, we're in a weird state of the meta, is that, like, this is, like, technically the only must-have. I think you're gonna be running a Shot anyway, so you might as well just put this here. Next up is good regardless. Inkjet has fallen off a tiny bit, but it's still really good. There's still really good weapons. Like, Ballpoint is there. There's the new Brella kit. Tri-Slosher base, I guess. But yeah, those are like the main weapons for it. It's still a pretty decent entry tool. Oh yeah, Rapid Deco. Rapid Deco is another one. But yeah, Inkjet is just good tool, but it's also very skillful, more skill dependent special. So bad Inkjet users won't get as much value as good Inkjet users. Next up is Crab Tank, definitely higher up now. considering that we got finally a new crab weapon, which is stupid that it took over a year for a base Splatoon 3 special to get another weapon with the special. That's insane. Like, missiles got a new kit faster than crab tank. And we all avoided that thing like the plague. But yeah, crab is definitely better now. Still really good because there's still Splash there. There's Dualies, and now there's a new Stamper, so it's still really good. A Booyah Bomb definitely much better. I would originally have it down here, but S-Blast kind of puts it up here. Again, it's the same thing. There weren't very many good Booyah Bomb weapons. The only good ones were Machine and and then the other weapons were very niche. Like, you're not really gonna run Forge because it's not a good main weapon. Hydra, there's a bunch of other backlines that are better, and Glugas are very hard. And just like not the greatest. It's weird. It's got main weapon problems. It can't paint. But yeah, Machine was like the only one that was really good with Booyah Bomb. And now we got S-Glass, which definitely helps out a lot. And with Booyah Bomb, and it's just good regardless what you're having. And finally, missiles. I know it's been nerfed a lot, but I still think having a global range special, especially if you're playing in a team, you can call out people's locations like, oh, there's 2 on the left. Oh, there's 1 at night. There's 1 at tower. Like, stuff like that. Like, just having good callouts on a global range special is good enough to be here. And then just having like extra movement tools for them to get out of that range is just cherry on top. It's not good for killing or comboing anymore, but it's still really good. And there's still decent weapons with it. There's a Wiper Deco. I guess is now technically the only main weapon that is good with it. Unless if you play a more niche team that needs like Flamethrower or Gootuber, or I guess Paintbrush if you really want to. But Wiper Deco is still there for the missiles. Next up is the Cannon Half. Tri-Strike fills similar role of Booyah Bomb, and yes, it is definitely available on more weapons like T-Tac and Neo Splash and Slosher, but and Firefin as well, definitely. I think Booyah Bomb is generally better. This is a hot take. I think Booyah Bomb is better than Triple Ink Strike, simply because you get that armor and you can continue your momentum. But with Splashdown, you have to like distant and throw the strikes with. And Booyah Bomb, I just think lasts longer, unless if you strategically place your strikes. But you're just way too vulnerable once you're firing the strikes. I think that's why it's down here. But yeah, and next up we have Kraken. Kraken, I'm glad it's getting better. The movement speed was a huge buff for it, in my opinion. Really good buff. The main reason why it's not here is the weapons. The only good weapon that I think would like it is like 96 Deco and maybe Heavy Deco if you want point sensor. But 96 Deco is like the main one you're going to use it for. I like Blob with it personally, but you know me, I'm an angle shooter enjoyer, and I'm a weird person that likes stuff like that. And Crack on Roller, same thing. I'm a weird person that likes playing off metal weapons sometimes. Anyways, Crack on Roller, I mean not Kraken on Roller, but Kraken as a special, still really good. And again, there's also the Clan Blitz cheese is still there. So it will forever be good on Clan Blitz just because it has the cheese potential. And that's just good enough for that. And just having a good special in general, I think people are a bit more coordinated with Kraken because it used to be just a selfish special, especially in solo queue. But in coordinated team, I think it can be a good battle tool to get in. Next up, we have Ink Vacuum, which was considered one of the worst specials at the beginning. But it has definitely gotten buffs And I think people just know how to use the special better now, in my opinion. I think it was good still at the beginning, in my opinion, because it was team oriented. People just didn't want to waste the slot. People were like, oh, it's a throw, you're all alone. Well, yeah, because you don't have your teammates with you. You need to have teammates, and it's a pushing tool. It's literally a pushing tool. I've seen really good coordinated teams that play off of their ink vacuum, and they are monsters. They are absolute dominating. But yeah, there's also really good weapons. Like recently, Jet Sculpture got buffed to 180p for some unforsaken reason. I don't know why it got bumped to 180p. But yeah, that's there for that. You also have Rapid Pro if you want. You also have V10 Umbrella if you want beacons. There's just a lot good vacuum options at the moment. And yeah. Inkstorm is next. Inkstorm, really good. Again, this is a global, well, like not global range, but like it basically the same thing as missiles, except it's at a fixed range instead of global range. It's really there's really good weapons that have Inkstorm at the moment. Probably Nautilus is carrying Inkstorm, I would say. And there's still other good weapons with Inkstorm. But especially now we have the new pencil kit that's going to help Inkstorm definitely. But yeah, just really good, get in tool, like move people around, good for zones, especially on Flounder. Flounder with Inkstorm is crazy. So definitely have one of those on that. Anyways, Wavebreaker. This is really tough for Wavebreaker. Is in a very tricky situation right now. There are good weapons that have Wavebreaker, like E-Leader and Range Blaster and Dually Squelcher, but there isn't. It's not super good as a special at the moment. I was like right here at launch because Ninja Squid was so good, but Ninja Squid isn't as good anymore, especially with Tacticooler just nullifying all of Ninja Squid's utility. So yeah, Wavebreaker has definitely fallen off because there's not enough Ninja Squid, but it's still really good for like as a distraction tool, I would say. But yeah, so you can have it definitely. It's not gonna hurt your team having a Wavebreaker, but again, maybe I'll put it in situational. Then I think about it. I'll put it in top of situational. Yeah, I'll put it here. Now we get onto situational. We're talking about Wavebreaker. Here's where I put the new Splashdown. Again, it can do many things. Splashdown in this game is much better than Splatoon 2 Splashdown. And because the design is just way better with the two other fists going off. Even if you've been Splashdown canceled, it still goes with the fists, and that's really cool. The radius is so much bigger now because of the fist. Like, so much of Splashdown is just so much better. And of course, they still got the Splashdown super jump, which has always been good, but it's just like you couldn't capitalize on it as much. But now with Tacticooler, you can grab Cooler, super jump back to spawn, super jump in, and then go in with the Splashdown really quickly. But yeah, I think for now, like right now, it's like pretty here, I would say. Well, I think over time it's gonna be here, which is why I have it here, because people aren't used to Splashdown canceling right now because it just came out, and probably some people have not even played Splatoon 2 and are getting killed by Splashdown. But once we like get more used to canceling Splashdown and dealing with it, I think it's gonna drop. But it's still really good. It's still really good. It's much better than Splatoon 2, and it's much better than these other things that I put up here. But yeah, next up we got Bubble. Bubble is one of a very interesting special. This is definition of situational right here, because really good main weapons it has it. Like it's on Junior, it's on Roller, H3 if you want to go a bit crazy. it's just pretty good main weapons that have it. Oh yeah, and also Zimmy. But the problem, it doesn't counter a lot of the things that need to be countered. The only thing that is really good countering is Trizuka. It can take 2 of the shots, which is really good. Counters missiles, which is good too. But like Inkjet, Crab, Booyah Bomb, Tri-Strike. I mean, Tri-Strike's understandable. But like these ones, the top ones, it doesn't counter it as much. And that's the thing. Still really good on tower control, because that's like the best placement for tower control. But other than that, if you want a bubble, it's going to be a situational purpose. And same thing with Zipcaster. I think with Zipcaster is carried by the main weapons right now at the moment. Like, the only 2 weapons that I can think of that are really good with Zipcaster is Platana Stamper and Tetras, light Tetras. And like, they're already really aggressive slayers, and that just fits with Zipcaster so well. But in general, I don't think it's not being it's being used kind of more as a distraction tool, and some players can just be like, oh, I'm gonna just ignore you. But it got that buff where it can kind of one shot now, which is kind of crazy. But I still think it's very situational. Like, you're not gonna be like, oh, we need Zipcaster, or like, oh yeah, we could use a Zipcaster. It's like, yeah, Zipcaster's cool. I guess we could use it. And also just map geometry in general is like a big factor with Zipcaster, because it depends so much on map geometry. But yeah. Killer Whale. Global range. God's damage increase. You would think it Beyond can have, and technically it might be right. But the only like weapon you're gonna use Killer Whale is like 52 Gal. And that's just because it's a really good main and sub. The special isn't carrying anything, it's very situational. And like, I guess Bamboo is another weapon that's really good with Killer Whale. Like, those 2 weapons are like the only ones. So yeah, it's not gonna be doing a lot. It's just like, and again, people know how to dodge Killer Whale now. So yeah, it's this tier. Alright, next up, Splatcolor screen. Again, the issues I previously say with while going over the main weapons. There's a lot of controversy with what getting hit, and color blindness, and accessibility, and all this stuff. And it's just very controversial, and I could see it being banned just because of that. Or like people just switching on color lock, or like switching those things. It's like, oh, we need to deal with screen. Let's like change our Switch's system settings, which is honestly stupid. I think they just need to adjust of how people are affected, and should just have an accessibility testing thing, because I don't think it was tested with this. And I also think having the screen that just even the player that threw it and their team, they can't even see the other side. Like, it should be transparent from like their perspective, no matter where they are, and it should just not be transparent on the enemy's team. That's the only thing it should be, because it's supposed to be helpful, but sometimes it hurts your team, which is not supposed to be what a special is supposed to do. I get it's a smoke screen, but it should be more beneficial than disadvantaging for your team. And again, map geometry is another thing that affects this special a lot. Sometimes like the hallway map's really good for screen, but then their more open maps that they've been doing is not super good for screen, because especially with the new Robo Ramen stage, you can like throw it at like one angle and they can just come at you from behind and flank you. Which, I'm glad they're having flank options now, but it does not help screen. And yeah, finally got Super Chump on situational. Again, this is like Zone's mainly weapon, and also Turf War if you play that mode. CDS and Enzap are carrying this special. I think CDS more, just because it's just a better main weapon in my opinion. And again, it got that points for special nerf because a lot of people are using CDS in Turf War tournaments. But it's really bad that this got on, because there's so many weapons that like would have preferred not having it. Like Strainer, I guess, and also Gold Dynamo. But oh well. That's just Salt probably and putting it down here. That's probably biased. I mean, all my tier lists are biased because I play a certain way. Sometimes I like this, sometimes I don't. Of course, it's gonna be biased. But yeah, Super Chump just not in the best place right now, considering the type. We're in a more offensive meta, not a more passive meta. So Super Chump isn't really super good. Super Chump good. Finally, you're playing for the main weapon. You ain't playing Botano Wiper or Ultra Stamp. You ain't playing Dapples or Tetras for Reef Slider. You ain't playing Dread Rainer for Reef Slider. You ain't playing Luna Neo for Ultra Stamp. You ain't playing L3D for Ultra Stamp. These are like the trash ones. And this sucks because Ultra Stamp could like literally go up here if they buffed the main weapon. I would say like giving invulnerability to the person in front while they're like in rush mode, give them invulnerability in the front. So that way like they can't, if you're like running towards someone, they can't just shoot you and you die. And then Reslider, so problematic. They literally is like, okay, we're gonna like make this a get in tool and then have like one of the most end lag in the game. Yeah, the startup is a bit better because they give it a bit more invincibility, but now it's just the glorified panic splashdown. It's in the same place Splashdown was, but like literally they just need to like make it so you can actually escape when you activate the reef slider. Or you know what? Rework the special entirely. This thing either needs a huge buff or it just needs to rework. I would like it so you can like jump off the shark. That'd be like really cool. But I don't think they're gonna do that. Which sucks because Reef Slider is on a lot of weapons that kind of it's a killer. It's a kit killer. It's a weapon killer. Like REEF-FLUX killed from it. Red Rainer killed from it. I don't know what others at the top of my head, but that killed it. Ultra Stamp, same thing. The only the only one that like synergizes well with Reslider is Tetras, and that's because it can actually escape because of its dodge rolls, and it has multiple dodge rolls. Dapples not so much because it's got very short dodge rolls. Ultra Stamp, the only weapon that kind of synergizes well with this weapon is Wiper, and that's just because Wiper's already on a rampage, so of course Stamp is going to help continue the rampage. And the reason why Stamp is better is because this has better ways of like buffing it, besides from an entire rework. And also, there's still that throwing mode that still could be really good. There's still that throwing mode. Reef Slider, you can't do anything in the special. You just pop it and like you maybe die. You most likely die. Stamp, at least you can throw the hammer and maybe get like a snipe from it, which is good, I guess. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So yeah, those are my specials and chill season weapons tier. Let me know what you think of it, and also let me know what you might want to see next. I'm probably going to take suggestions on what you want to see, whether it's more Splatoon content or any Nintendo content or like literally anything. Like, what do you guys want me to hear? And yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.